Hi, Aquarius. It's your season. I needed a few days before I can get started on the readings. And I'm sure you're feeling like you need some space right now, too, for the most part. Most of you, and I think it really relates to anyone, sun, moon, or rising. Right now, it's like you're in this contemplative zone where you're taking in everything that you've already kind of downloaded. We've been going through major downloads. We're like technology. If you're not like understanding of that term, it's like it's the way that the energies and the stars shifting like directly impact us. We download things, we filter through them. It's reasons why a lot of people have gotten migraines. The volcano that erupted, you see it collectively in a different experience, but it's like the same kind of feeling just within the different layers of environments and ecosystems, and we are one of them, as you know. And I don't talk to every sign like this, so you get it. You're also feeling a lot. The amount of compassion that you're able to experience with yourself at this moment really goes forward and in surround sound. It could be why you may feel like, all right, this fixed air already has you feeling in this like contractive mode, and maybe even in your head a lot. So the first few days you might be in your head a lot of this season. As of today, Mars goes into Capricorn, so that makes sense as to why I started today, the 24th. And then we start Mercury retrograde. Sorry about that. So what you're experiencing now, and some of you could be feeling slightly anxious, that's been happening. And what do I mean by that? Because we can define anxiety in many different ways. And you have to be sensitive to the way that you experience it, or if it's just this change that's happening that you're experiencing. Because it's not that you guys aren't great with change, it's just that you feel like you need to have every, not detail planned out, but you need some kind of map. And we've been talking about that, and it seems like you have it. But there's something that is possibly holding you back at this moment, even though it's really your time to shine. I do, however, feel like, or I do, however, see like that the way you have already grown and you're seeing kind of where you're going to go in and out while Saturn is in your sign, it's going to make you think about a lot. And not that you already don't, it's just there's a maturity that's happening, there's a responsibility that's happening in another way, and it may not always be, easy. And it might keep you in a contemplative state for a long time. And what you're being asked, or what you're being shown to contemplate or sit with or ponder or assess, is your ability to receiving information. What does that look like? So these downloads, what I've been talking about, you could just be feeling trapped in the sense that if some of you don't understand what it's like to experience this, because it happened with people who don't even understand why they got migraines. Like, some people never get them, aren't prone to them. This could have happened differently for you. What I suggest is that you start with a little bit of meditation every day in whatever way works for you. It just, even if it's washing the dishes or cleaning, but sitting with it, maybe even touching your head, can really be helpful to understanding the energy that's impacting, and without thinking too much, just letting yourself experience what's happening. That's a part of something we teach in meditation or yoga. And it's important to understand it, because major insights, of course, like you know that, but this is different. Like, you have the space in your season. Like, give yourself more freedom than whatever defined fixed air space that you've put yourself in. Let yourself wander in your mind that you love. And that's another way of receiving. This is not just about love, and this could be about love for sure. And you might get the offer specifically by next month in Virgo full moon, but we'll get there in the next part. Oh, also, this is the first part. The second part will be on Patreon, where I read the cards to you from now on moving forward, and then eventually I'll upload this part first, and you'll get the, what's that called, like head start, I forget what it's called, you know what I mean. Okay, but the soil that's been fertilizing, you're now also in this place of understanding, fertilizing since Virgo season back in August, September. Back at that time, something was happening, and you can reflect or maybe sit with like what was going on back at just a few months ago, almost 6 months, right? So what seeds you were planting, what decisions you were making, how you were living your life is starting to take shape. And I think what's really happening with you is that you're shedding. That this 9 of Swords, this 2 of Swords is this shedding. But you don't shed. You're different the way that you shed. You shed while experiencing this, what could look like being stuck in oneself. This 2 of Swords, Hanged Man. But really, I genuinely feel like what you're going to realize is that you're growing this understanding of what it's like to be in oneself. You're growing this understanding that you're going to continue to learn for the year to come, and year and a half, a little bit more. And then again, after that, ask any Capricorn especially, or Capricorn especially, that after Saturn goes through your sign, it doesn't just end there. It's you take what you've learned and you go, and it starts to sink in. And about a year after, in my opinion, is when things start to sink in. But you learn so quickly and aren't opposed to, even when you're stubborn, you can still allow the winds to change. And you do it in this way that's like, again, you bring it up high to take a look. And it might cause you like some kind of anxiety or height of some type of emotion, but it allows you to understand something. And that's what you're doing right now. You're almost like quantifying what's happening, not only in your world, but the world around you. And by the time we get to this next moon cycle, just taking a look at my notes again. I don't think I'm going to edit the other part because I think it's funny and I think you should see what I look like when I'm being silly. Full moon in Leo on, oh wait, we have a new moon in your sign on the 1st, which is coming up. This is going to show you where it is that you're still learning to receive, accept, love, what kind of love you want to accept, what kind of, also thinking about the way you want to be received. You're kind of taking this, well, like fully rounded. And again, if you haven't started a meditation practice as an Aquarius, I highly recommend it. And then you have this. So you see where the shadow aspects are. You see where the light is shining and where maybe you haven't allowed certain cords to be cut from the past. And I know how difficult that can be. So I'm not saying it as if I don't understand. It's just that you're going to be presented these cords. You're going to be presented this ability, again, to really see everything in your life for what it is. Like, and as Venus is in retrograde, Mercury is about to go into retrograde, you're going to have this chance to do something you actually really love to do. And you probably won't admit it to most people, but you get to have this existential conversation with yourself all month. But you bring it down to the most simplest form because it's important for you. It's important for the way that you work. It's important for why you're cutting things off. Aquarius people, it's funny because like you're easy to read, but like you also really need to simplify things because you know that people have made so much complex, big deals out of things that don't really matter. And you're just kind of like, so what? Like, bro, so what? Great, cool that you did that thing. You made a lot of money, and now what are you doing? Like, are you adding? Are you helping society? You are to a certain extent by showing people what they can do. But like, what are you actually doing? And anyone who tries to step on your stage this month, don't let them. Don't let them. Don't let them. This is about you right now. It's a very independent month. So even if you're with a partnership, if you have a partnership, they're going to be, they're understanding where you're at. If not, communicate as best as you can to them, like where you're at, what you're going through, how you end up being. For the most part, it's going to be received very well. They might end up giving to you even more. You might even see like this different side of this person come out for some of you. But there's really obvious center stage you'll be taking by, I'd say, the Leo full moon on the 16th, by like the middle, towards the middle of your month. Leo, when I cut the deck, boom. Yeah. So it's going to probably show you something huge. You're going to receive not only from, the physical world, of course, but you being you love that, that's possible. It's kind of in your innate, and you're like, let's switch it up, right? Your life starts to change in this way because something about your worth, something about what you really know you can have, regardless if you do, like, you want to help other people, you want to do this, you want to do that. You're allowing yourself to be selfish in the ways that are actually healthy, and it's okay to desire things. So that's a part of this existential questioning you might be doing this month, like desiring things that you really want, who you want to embody with yourself, how you want to embody yourself, I should say. And the Tower moment comes and changes it for you. It's just going to happen. A lot of you, it's more heart-centered, so it's very like Valentine's Day, so like existential Valentine. Ooh, I love that. Yeah. And there's a lot that's so funny, it's like trickling down. Jupiter, we'll talk about this more in the next part too, Jupiter in Pisces, but also this karmic moment is happening. You are going to be revealed most likely as this Tower moment is happening. It's everything at once, right? So you're going to be, sorry, I'm a little itchy. You're going to have this Tower moment, right? And then all of a sudden, very quickly, as you know things can happen, very fucking quickly, you receive a lot. You receive a lot, including some truths from maybe deception that you've had from the past. Something back in the time where you planted the seeds, and then you notice, this situation isn't right for me, somewhere in October possibly. And you're now getting the answer that you've been waiting for. It's not like you've been looking for it. You kind of are the type of person that will normally, if you're in a healthy space with yourself, you'll let things go, they'll return, you'll realize, and it'll be what it is. A divine union even is happening, but it's having you walk away from a lot that you put yourself into. And I'll show you more of those in the second part as well, because eventually I'll do extended readings, which will get more detailed into this on Patreon. So mostly I just want you to take from this part, or what the cards are saying here, not just what I want you to take, I'm sorry, is this existential Valentine question. It's about you first. Where do you feel stuck? Well, your season's going to show you. And it shows you in the mind. It shows you how you do things. It reveals to you what is no longer, it's great. It's beautiful. It's young, but you want maturity. You want more, and it's okay. So you let yourself have it. You cut off and accept these shadows, these things in your life that you have seen within yourself, from the mind to then outside of yourself, when the moon comes around and shows you. When these different planets come into specific alignments, you think about that, you think about how this quantifies in your life, and you start to feel more powerful, because you're not only asking, but you're not asking for concrete answers. You're just asking like in terms of being guided in your life right now, because you know that it's going to keep going for a while. And it's about you understanding, you being in your total self, your total worth in what you desire, and knowing that it's changing and it's okay. That this time in your life and preparing, you have learned. And the changes, the quick changes that may happen are all due to karmic events. So even though the Saturn return can be hard, for some of you, and it depends on where it's affecting you, of course, this could also be about Venus as well. Could be about some legal situation that you've been really waiting on, but you've really held your ground, because when someone knows the truth, they don't have to go yell, scream, complain about it. That comes from insecurity. So when you know the truth, you sit back. And that's what this is teaching you. You have been learning. It's something you naturally are able to do when you're in that space. And you're quickly revealed what you need to be revealed. Something about yourself that you may have been deceiving yourself about. It could be someone you thought was fair or had your best interest, and it turns out they don't. But now you have your best interest, if some of you are worrying about that. But for the most part, it's about getting outside of yourself. Like, as much as you're inside of yourself at the beginning of the month, it's this inner-outer experience, as it always is. But it's like this very this very obvious flow of what's happening, and why having that sword and being in that Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles is really important. And also, if you have someone in your life that represents that Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Cups, they're a great person to be in communication with at this time. I know it's a lot. I didn't realize how long this was going to be, but I realized why I needed to wait, which is dope. I hope you appreciate that's the way I work. And the next part is on Patreon. That will be in a link below, where I read the cards to you. It helps you learn, for those of you who want to learn, and gives you more information. I think it comes out a little differently when the camera's not on me sometimes, and I settle in and I let it sit out for a little bit. It's like cooking, you know. Thank you for being here, and happy birthday to those of you who are Aquariuses that are watching this, because I know some people probably aren't. And I will see you next month in Pisces season.